Howdy, this is the Change. And tonight we're asking ourselves why and how much and how many and when is it going to be enough? We're talking the Donald. Yes, it's big news. He's getting indicted. That's what they say. For the what 10th time? What is it this time? The files he took to his house when he left the White House. Doesn't it seem weird? I know I use the word weird a lot because that's the only way I can explain this. I mean, how much? How many times? Does this make sense to anyone with a logical mind? With anyone who thinks logically? It doesn't make you ask, why are they going so hard at this dude? Why only when he became interested in running for president did they begin to go at him so hard? They spied on him before he was elected. This has been proven. It's been proven. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is facts. Spied on him while he was running for president. While he was president, he started off they started with the Russian collusion, fake impeachment hoax, trial things, the this, the that, Steele dossier that was paid for by the Clintons that Obama knew about. Obama was briefed on it. Biden was briefed on it as vice president before Trump was elected. This has all been proven. The FBI knew about it. The CIA knew about it. This has all been proven. The Durham report just came out. This is all on file somewhere. He's a coward. John Durham, he's a coward, so nobody's going to go to jail over it because he's a coward. Bottom line. Because he still wants to sit at the big boy table in the Washington, D.C. steakhouse. He wants to eat at the big boy table, sip on Dom Perignon where they laugh. We're so cool. If only the American people knew what we actually do. When is it going to be enough, man? Trump got more votes when he got elected in 2016 than any other president in history. Then he gained, I don't want to give a false number because I don't want any reason for anybody to shut me down or say I'm full of it because I give some false number. He gained voters in 2020. There's one reason Trump got elected. It's not because people love Trump. It's because they hate what's going on with the country. They can't trust politicians. They cannot trust media. They cannot trust the three-letter organizations. They have all lost trust. And the COVID thing only showed more of America does not trust you guys anymore. We they don't we don't trust them anymore. They've lost our trust. When an ex lies to you over and over and over and over again, you just stop believing them. They're just talking to the wall. Anything they say just bounces off of you. Cannot continue to lie to us and us believe you. That's not how this works. You don't get to do that to the American people. You don't. It's over. Stop lying. You'll never have my trust. Never again. But I'm a question asking dude. Trust me. I'm a question asking dude. My thirst for knowledge will never be quenched. I dare say when I am old, hopefully I live to be old and gray, I'll still be asking questions. Remember the 2-year-olds? I remember. Are you ever around a 2-year-old? Their favorite word is why. It used to be one of my favorite games when my nieces and nephews were little, my sisters were little. When they're about 2, when they really start talking, they learn that word why. And it was a game to me because I'd be bebopping around with them and what's that? I'd answer. I'd try to educate them because I always try to educate the next generation. I feel like I have something to offer them, a little piece of knowledge. Because the generation before myself taught me. And a lot of the people who taught me are no longer with us. So it's my job to pass on the knowledge. So when they were little and they would say, why? Or what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? I'd explain why. And then the whys start. And once they catch on to that why, gets a reaction out of me and they're going to get more words out of me and more points from me. I'll be pointing, that's a that. That's a light. Why? Because we need to see in the dark. Why? Because if we couldn't see in the dark, we'd be bumping our feet. Why? Because we wouldn't be able to see. So when we tried to move, we would hit our toes and it would hurt. You know the process. I don't need to explain it. But I loved it. Will always love it. Explaining to the next generation why. When they ask why, it makes my soul smile. Ask yourself why our government, our legacy media, independent media is where it's at. That's what I consider myself. I'm just a middleman. I'm just trying to open eyes to these articles that I see so we can open up communication between each other because we're stronger as a unit. We're stronger united. The United States of America. Change. It's a whole play of words with the change thing. But I digress. Why are they going after this man so hard? He wasn't supposed to get elected in 2016. It was supposed to be Hillary. She was supposed to get elected. And when he won, and the reason he won is not because of Putin, not because of Russia. The reason he got elected, that was Americans. My countrymen, your countrymen, our countrymen and women standing up and saying that's enough. What you guys are doing is not working. We're going with the game show host. Never. First time in history that someone got elected president that had spent no time in the political circle or in the military. First time in history. And he won. He garnered more votes than any president prior to himself. That was the country standing up together, even though media would like you to believe it destroyed the whole country. The voters stood together and said, it's time for a change. It's time for a change. So why are you pointing every piece of artillery at your disposal at this one man? Why? Why? If you don't ask yourself that, I find it hard that you can look in the mirror. It doesn't matter where you stand on the Trump thing, the Trump thing. He's a man. On the Trump dilemma, I guess I'll call it that, just for, for fun. The Trump dilemma. He's just a man. An abrasive man, yeah. He's also funny. He also did a pretty good job as president. Sucked on the COVID thing. I have no problem. I support Trump, but I also support my mother. But when she'd make me peanut butter and jelly for lunch for school, and she got jelly on the bottom of my thermos, and then I'd pick it up and set it in my lap, and then I'd have jelly all over my clothes, I'd let her know, hey, I got jelly on the thermos. I will also let Trump know, hey, dude, you didn't fire Anthony Fauci. That's what Trump did wrong. I mean, you can name 10 things he did wrong. That's fine. I'm not saying he's perfect. He's a lot better than what we have right now. That's a fact. Put a period at the end of that sentence. It's a fact. I'm not here to be Team Trump. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to ask why. Why are they so scared of him? It seems like they're scared of him. Doesn't it seem to you like they're scared of him? He's promised to disband the FBI, CIA, DOJ. He's going, if he gets reelected, he's going full force. He doesn't have to worry about reelection. He's going to go all in. The borders will be sewed up tight. That's the promise. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to say, why, man? Shang Tzu would say it's a bad idea to point every piece of artillery at one man. You could get flanked. They could sneak up from behind. You could get attacked from within. Why are they going after him so hard? Why? People are getting elected in these blue states saying, I will get Trump. That's all I'm going to do. Old Alvin Bragg in New York. I don't want to take personal shots at anybody. That's not why I am here. But come on, dude. Crime is rampant in New York. And you're worried about Trump. Come on, dude. You're a better man than that. I hope you are. I hope you are. Because otherwise, how do you look at yourself in the mirror? That's your meaning of life? Do you wake up and eat Trump cereal? I mean, seriously, dude. Do you have a reminder on your phone? Get Trump on the hour, every hour. Is that what it says verbally? Do you get a notification? It's tiresome. And any American with any type of national pride must be getting sick and tired of this. You're going to make a mistake and unite the whole country. God forbid the country unites on a cause. Because then watch us soar. Watch us soar. If all Americans were to unite behind a single purpose, a good moral purpose, if everybody found their northern star and all started walking together to the same point, nothing could stop us. We could make America great again. Oh my God, I said make America great again. Oh man, that's such a horrible statement. He's a far right lunatic. I am no far anything. I'm far out. I'm far right more than I'm far wrong. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me go to this article. Like, there's a million articles on this because anytime a Trump indictment's mentioned, everybody's a journalist and there's a billion articles to read. But I'm just so sick of reading these articles about Trump, man. Like, it's it's pretty sickening, really, because everybody just gets so happy about destroying the country. Nobody's ever indicted a president. Nobody ever has indicted a president. I hope they're pleased with themselves. I hope they're pleased with themselves. Trump indicted on 7 charges, including violation of the Espionage Act over classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Angrily proclaims his innocence ahead of Miami courthouse appearance next Tuesday. Trump faces charges including obstruction and violation of the Espionage Act. Relates to classified document he took from White House to Mar-a-Lago. Could face a maximum of 100 years in prison if convicted of all charges. Yeah. He raged at the, quote, corrupt, end quote, Biden administration and vowed to plead not guilty. Trump set to appear in Miami federal court on Tuesday for his second arraignment in 3 months. This is from the dailymail.com by Rob Frilly. Former President Donald Trump has been sensationally indicted on a slew of federal charges, including obstruction and a violation of the Espionage Act over the classified documents he took from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. It says he took from Mar-a-Lago. Good job, dude. Good job, Rob. In an unprecedented move, the Department of Justice has hit him with 7 counts and has made him the first former president to face federal charges. A furious Trump raged at the, quote, corrupt Biden administration, end quote, and accused them of election interference in a video posted just minutes after the announcement from his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. It is election interference. They are interfering with the front runner for the GOP. How can that not be election interference? That is the definition of election interference. But they won't call it like that. What the GOP's doing is saying, we think President Trump should step down from the race. Actually, the article I read framed it as GOP front runners, GOP front runners, plural, think, they ask, GOP front runners ask Donald Trump to withdraw from the race. That was the article headline I saw. There's only one front runner. You get my drift? His name's Donald J. Trump. He'll be the Republican ticket. He is the Republican ticket, I should say. Later, he said he would, quote, of course, plead not guilty to the list of 7 charges, including conspiracy and classified documents retention, when he appears in Miami court next Tuesday afternoon in his second arraignment in 3 months. If convicted of the shopping list of allegations, he could face a maximum of 100 years in prison. They keep saying that, don't they? That's the second time in 3 paragraphs I've read he could face a maximum of 100 years in prison. It is the second set of charges leveled at Trump this year, plunging the country into fresh legal and political uncertainty as he campaigns to return to office and after his defeat to President Joe Biden in 2020. It means the leading candidate in the Republican primary will have to split his time between the courtroom and the campaign trail as he tries to seal the GOP nomination. He's been splitting everything he does with court stuff because he's under attack. Photos of him facing the judge in the Stormy Daniels hush money trial, which starts in March, will not dominate news cycles, and the classified documents case leaves him in even more legal peril. A source told DailyMail.com that Trump has been indicted on charges of possession of the classified documents and obstruction, and that all 7 counts relate to those 2 areas. Additionally, Trump was charged with willfully retaining national defense secrets in violation of the Espionage Act, making false statements, and an obstruction of justice conspiracy. Prosecutors have investigated the transfer of presidential files to his Mar-a-Lago, Florida estate since last year. The probe exploded into the headlines in August when the FBI searched Trump's Florida home, recovering 11,000 documents, including about 100 that were marked classified. For his part, Trump has repeatedly insisted he did nothing wrong and that he is a victim of a federal witch hunt. I agree. At times, the controversy has even boosted his standing in the polls and allowed him to raise money from supporters who see a deep state plot to take him out of the 2024 race. Quote, the corrupt Biden administration has informed my attorneys that I have been indicted, seemingly over the boxes hope. Even though Joe Biden has 1,850 boxes at the University of Delaware, additional boxes in Chinatown, D.C., with even more boxes at the University of Pennsylvania, and documents strewn all over his garage floor where he parks his Corvette, and which is secured only by a garage door that is paper thin and open much of the time, end quote, Trump wrote on Truth Social Thursday night. Quote, I have been summoned to appear at the federal courthouse in Miami on Tuesday at 3 p.m. I never thought it possible that such a thing could happen to a former president of the United States who received far more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country and is currently leading by far all candidates, both Democrat and Republican, in polls of the 2024 presidential election. I am an innocent man. End quote. Later Thursday night, he put out a video quote, very sadly, we're a nation in decline, and yet they go after a very popular president, end quote, Trump said. He goes on to say, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong, he continued, vowing to fight this out. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Trump also said he would, of course, plead not guilty. Security is already being increased around the courthouse in Miami ahead of his appearance before a judge scheduled for 3 p.m. on Tuesday. The investigation into Trump's handling of the classified documents is being overseen by special counsel Jack Smith, who was appointed by the Attorney General Merrick Garland in November. A bunch of empty folders. Those are all empty. All 5 of those empty. There's nothing in them. But whatever. Whatever. We've all seen the story. We've all seen the story. We know all about it. The only thing new is that they're actually going to indict Donald Trump, apparently. I mean, that's what the article says. So apparently it's going to happen. But you got to ask why. Why are they going so hard after this dude? What does he know? What are they afraid of? Because it feels like they're afraid. I don't know if you're familiar with Tucker Carlson. If you're watching me, I mean, Tucker Carlson got 120 or some odd million views on his first tweet back after Fox fired him. Fox fired him. He was the #1 cable news show in the world. Okay. So they fired him because he asked a lot of questions and said a lot of truths. Okay. And then you had the Project Veritas guy, James O'Keefe. What did they do to him? He's the guy that has the little hidden cameras, and he gets people to say provocative things. And then when he comes up with his cameras and stuff, hey, you remember saying this? I didn't say that. You're lying. And then they sue him. And then he beats them in court, but the mainstream media doesn't talk about James O'Keefe beating him in court. But anyway, his own people fired him. And then they call it golden handcuffs because they fire you. They did the same thing to Tucker. They fire you, and then they say you can't say anything. Like, well, you contracted me to do a job. So if I'm not doing the job, you're in breach of contract. But I'm not going to get into all their legal shenanigans. I'm just saying it seems like anybody who says truths becomes a target. Did you see? I gulped really hard right there. Gulp. I only ask questions. I just want to enlighten some people, man. I want to enlighten people that I love and people that love me. And if some people that don't love me also get enlightened from what I'm doing, that's way even better. I don't want the Thanksgiving dinners being awkward. I want everybody enlightened. Like I said before, I'm colorblind, but I want everybody seeing the light. If we're going to be chained, we might as well be going in the same direction, chained together. You know what I mean? Let's go to the light. Let's ask why. Just make it make sense. Nobody can. They can't. I've been in 50 arguments, and all you got to do, someone who is not informed, all you have to do is let them talk. All you have to do is let them talk. And they'll show you that they are stuck in the shadows. They'll show you. They'll show you that they are not enlightened. They'll show you that they are not informed. They will show you they believe in nothing. Nothing. The woke believe in nothing. They have no morals. They have no 10 commandments. They believe in nothing. They set up these lines to be progressive. And then the lines change. They believe in nothing. Anyone who thinks Trump is evil needs to look at a mirror and ask themselves, why do I think he's evil? Even if you thought he was evil, even if you thought the man was evil, would it make sense to indict the man for taking paperwork home? And when I say home, I'm talking, of course, about Mar-a-Lago, where he has Secret Servicemen protecting him and his family 24 hours a day. I'm thinking it's pretty secure. That's a different argument. That's not what my point was here, nor was it to get you to vote for Trump. The point was to get you to ask yourself why. What is the reason to go after this man so hard? Why in the world would they do that? Think about that. Just think about that. Just be open-minded. Just be open-minded about it the next couple months. Just think like, why in the world are they attacking this guy so hard? What did he do that's so bad? Because it just changes. Once a case gets dropped, another one comes up. They are attacking his character. It's almost comparable to John F. Kennedy. They don't just assassinate people these days. They assassinate the character of a person. Show me the man and I will show you the crime. But what it's doing, like I said, I ask questions. But there are people who live and breathe Trump, man. There are people that live and breathe for Trump. They love the man. I like him, but I don't love him. This is bad for our country that they're doing to Donald Trump. It's bad for our country. I want good for our country. I want our kids to grow up and be safe. I want our kids to have kids that grow up and be safe. I don't want to have to worry about wars. I don't want to have to worry about borders. I don't want to have to worry about that stuff. But you got to ask yourself why. It can improve. We just got to keep the ball rolling. When you learn something, you got to try to enlighten somebody else. You got to try. I know it's hard. You got to try to bring somebody else to the light. Because the more people that jump on the information train, the chain train, the more people that jump on the road to enlightenment, the more enlightened our country's going to be. There's no way you can be moral, logical, and loving and this place not be the sweetest place on earth, like it is. 'Cause America's the sweetest place on earth. It's as good as you can get right here in the US of A. I'll leave it there. This has been the change, and I am the blinded seer. Get linked. Thank you.